here's somebody that knows a little about some of these rigged things that political parties do is Ella Ward. She's with us. Now, she's running for Congress in the 4th District, which is the new 4th District, which is the old 4th District was Randy Forbes' district, but Randy Forbes is running in the 2nd District, not the 4th District. 4th District is now a Democratic district, so in most likelihood the winner of Tuesday's Democratic primary between State Senator Don McEachin, who, by the way, doesn't live in the district either. In fact, nobody lives in the district. The only candidate that lives in the district is with us here, Ella Ward. The Republicans don't live in the district either.
That's right.
The only two people here that live in the district are me and Ella. That's right. It. And nobody else lives in the district. So nobody can vote for themselves except for Ella, who does actually, of all the candidates, lives in the district.
Yes.
Randy doesn't live in his new district either. So of all these, nobody lives in their district, right? Ella, good to have you with us. This primary, June 14th, the powers to be have already anointed McEachin as the winner before a single vote has been cast. What do you make of this whole thing?
Well, it's pretty phenomenal that this has happened, John. And, thank you for having me this morning. I certainly am disappointed of the way things were done, the way the lines were drawn. It's pretty obvious that they were redrawn, I guess, in this new 4th District for a single candidate, as you said, who doesn't even live in the district. My opponent was Don McEachin. I really think it's awful, because we've been fighting gerrymandering in this district, in the 4th District, and I can say this district because this is where I live. And I'll elaborate on that a little bit more because I've been accused of being negative by the opponent because I stated that he doesn't live in the district. But it's been stated over and over again by you just recently in the paper this morning and throughout that he doesn't. And that's not a negative thing. That's not negative. He does not live in the district.
That's a fact.
That is a fact.
He can't
and he has accused
vote
me,
for himself.
He can't vote for himself. Exactly. And he's accused me of being negative. And the only thing I said was that he does not live in the district, which is a fact. Now, if I wanted to be negative, there are some other things swirling around out there that could be interpreted to be negative.
Like what?
Well, I won't go so far as to call those out. I'll let the Republican nominee call him out on that, which usually does happen. But there are things out there that could be perceived as negative campaigning. But certainly stating that he lives in the 7th, not in the 4th, that's not negative. But I've been accused of that. And I have a problem with that because it's just a plain fact. He doesn't live in it. He can't vote in it. Hasn't been to Hampton Roads. I think he's coming tonight for a reception or something. It's the 3rd time, only the 3rd time that he's been in the Hampton Roads area. And even the weak endorsement that he got, I guess, from the Virginian pilot.
That was pretty weak.
As
far as endorsements go.
What in earth?
That was pretty weak endorsement.
Because you have a learning curve for Hampton Roads because you haven't been here, you don't live in it, and you had only been here twice. And is an attorney. I was trying to figure out where is the endorsement coming from. So that's the concern. But yeah, this whole redrawing and the redistricting was really a disgrace, to be absolutely
I thought it was
honest.
a weak endorsement, especially juxtaposed to the ringing endorsement they gave Scott Taylor in the 2nd District.
Absolutely.
They blasted Randy and gave Taylor, called him a man of intellectual heft and things like that.
Exactly.
And then juxtaposed that with, it was like, well, there's Don and Ella and there's Don.
Yeah, exactly. And my educational prowess should be at the state level. Give me a break. Education is a national issue. The candidates have been talking about it forever, especially during this campaign, and the need to revamp it. And it's not just a K-12 thing, because, when it comes to caps on student loans, when it comes to making affordable college for our young people, training for our young people, making sure that kids have breakfast. These are federal issues that have an impact on our educational system, a tremendous impact on it. If, the grants or the loans are not going to be capped, young people are going to be faced with debt, so much debt from college tuition that they can't buy a house. It's federal. Making sure kids are not hungry when they go to school, it's federal. The mandates that are put on the states are federal, beginning with No Child Left Behind, and there was some earlier than that. But that's a federal issue that has really caused our educational system, for public education, to really fall apart, especially since the state legislature, including decisions made by my opponent, have cut the funding over and over and over since 2008. Chesapeake has been able to rise above that. So, yeah, I had a little problem with the endorsement, but then again, I very rarely get the endorsement from the ballot anyway. In all the campaigns I've run, about 5 times running at the local level, but that's okay. The redrafting of the district is disgraceful. I think I'm well qualified, and I can speak for Hampton Roads. The defense budget, I live it. It's right here. I tell you, last week I was at the VA hospital, McGuire Center in Richmond, which is huge, and I'm just such a supporter of our veterans and their families, and our military too. I have a military family. As I said earlier, my son is retired Navy commander. My husband's retired Army. My brothers-in-law are all retired Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard. We got it all. And we're right here in the midst of it. And I live it with the defense budget and with the shipyard and with Fentress in Chesapeake and with Oceana and Virginia Beach. And my opponent has been here, maybe he's coming tonight for the 3rd time since his campaign started. I have a problem with that.
Maybe he doesn't like. Maybe he doesn't like to go through the tunnel.
Oh, really? He doesn't really. He doesn't have to go through the tunnel.
Asking.
I mean, to come from Richmond,
you can come down 460.
Absolutely,
go over the high-rise bridge
at least once a week, sometimes twice a week.
Don, you can come to Chesapeake and you can come to Hampton Roads. It's really not that bad. Plus, there's no tolls right now.
No tolls on 460. Absolutely.
Now, if you take a wrong turn, then you got to pay the toll. You got to go over the Jordan Bridge. So follow the signs. I know you've not been here much, Don. So you just got to follow the signs to Hampton Roads and come down 64 East, or you can take 460 East. In fact, on your way down, you can stop at the Virginia Diner. That's what I always do.
I do too. I do it every week.
Come to Wakefield.
I've done it every week since my campaign started.
Okay, you're feisty today. Why are you so feisty?
Because it's close to the election, and I just want folks to know about Ella Ward and the reason why they need to go out there and vote for me on Tuesday, because I think I am the most qualified candidate. For a variety of reasons. Mm-hmm. In my 16 years in public office and my 8 years on the State Board of Education and 5 years as vice president making decisions for the whole state of Virginia, and my experience on the Hampton Roads Planning District Commission, and I'll say that because it's Hampton Roads, where my opponent does not choose to come to very often, but because I've been on that commission for about 6 years now, and I'm the vice president of that big board that includes 16 counties and cities, including Chesapeake and Suffolk and Franklin and Ivor and Smithfield, and it goes all the way up to Williamsburg too, and Virginia Beach and Hampton and Newport News, but still, that's a large body of elected officials, and they chose me as their vice chair. And come July, I will be the chairman of this committee, and we have worked to bring jobs back to Hampton Roads and throughout the 4th District. We have worked to bring funds that are going to support our infrastructure. In fact, we voted and have passed our legislation that's going to really equate to about $25 billion, John. Billion, that's a lot of money, to come to the Hampton Roads area within the next 20 years. And I think that's phenomenal.
Ella, there's one thing you said, and this is real. If McEachin wins and Sheriff Mike Wade wins, let me just play this out.
Wow.
Then you got McEachin versus Wade. Neither of them, by the way, live in the district. Jackie Gonzalez doesn't live in the district either.
That's right.
But here's what will be interesting. If Sheriff Wade wins, his campaign consultant is a fellow by the name of Mike Wade. So there's 2 Mike Wades. There's a sheriff and the consultant. And I tell you what, Mike Wade will not hesitate to go negative on Don, especially because he's got a squeaky clean candidate in Sheriff Mike Wade. So this is just something to throw out there, a little inside baseball. Let's go to Tom in Suffolk. Tom, welcome.
My hometown.
Hey, good morning, John. Morning, Miss Ward.
Good morning, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm excited to be in waterlogged.
Me too. I am too.
I'm sorry. It's not just you, Miss Ward. I try to hold all politicians' feet to the fire. I heard you throw out the cliche, I'm going to bring more jobs back to Tidewater, and every politician gets on and says the same thing. Exactly what is your plan? How do you plan to implement it? And what are your estimated jobs that you are going to bring back to Tidewater? Where are they coming from?
Oh, a
Thank you.
variety of places. Infrastructure, that's huge. And the thing about it is that I have a track record for having done that in Chesapeake. You know, even though the rest of the country, a lot of it was, and a lot of the 4th District, they suffered tremendously. But we've been able to hire more people, more than over $200 million in jobs back to this area during my 10 years on the city council. Retraining, you got to retrain. We train our veterans, but we need to also incentivize our small businesses, and we can do that, and we should do that. Congress needs to help do that. We need to hire the vets, the V3 program, wherein there are incentives given to small businesses, and small businesses, that they really comprise about 75% of the jobs, sir. And we need to invest in them. We need to give them reasons for hiring more people, for retraining our veterans, and even revamping our schools, especially our high schools, using our community colleges. Infrastructure, that's what really gets jobs. And I mean jobs, everyday jobs that people like you and me can handle. Building roads and bridges. And we've done so much of that. We built the bridge in the South Norfolk Bridge. We placed that in Chesapeake. But one of the things that we did was to make sure that the company that was building the bridge, we made them guarantee that they were going to hire Chesapeake residents. And they did. It's over $100 million project when you do this. And they got it done in a couple of years. And Dominion Boulevard, major, not just for Chesapeake, but this is going to be the hub of the Hampton Roads area, going all the way to North Carolina. And you're talking about thousands of people working to get that bridge built. Gilmerton Bridge, infrastructure, roads, schools. This is where you hire people and small businesses. If we incentivize them, like the V3 program, $1,000 for one vet. If you hire 2 vets, they can get $2,000. And this will help also. Now with Verizon, I participated in that Verizon strike. I was down in Virginia Beach marching with them. Now that it's over, a lot of those jobs are going to be coming back to the United States, especially the call centers. We need to get them back from India. And now that strike is over, people are going to get raises, but also we're going to get jobs back in here, back in Hampton Roads, back in the 4th District, and in the state of Virginia because of the call centers that were shipped overseas. So much outsourcing.
How are we going to stop? I mean, I'm for that 100%.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But how are we going to get Verizon to stop outsourcing their calls to Bangladesh or India, wherever the hell they are, and bring the jobs back here? How are we going to do that?
Stop allowing them to use phony addresses and to make it, seem as though they have addresses in India and Bangladesh and all those places that you mentioned and getting away with it. That's federal government. Crack down on that, John.
Now you sound like Trump.
Well, Trump, I don't want to sound like Trump, but there are a few things that he says that are right.
In this instance, you're 100% right. So
exactly.
what you're saying is,
do what you have to do.
If you're in Congress where Trump is right, you'll get behind the policies that you believe are the right thing for your district.
The right things for
in
the
not
district.
not a partisan fashion,
That's
but
right.
for America.
And see, that's what needs to happen. See, that's what I do. That's what I've done. We have to do what's right for the country.
Well, you know that your opponent is not going to do that. Don McKeechin, whatever you say about him, I mean, he is a partisan operative. And so if the Democratic Party says A, he's going to do A. That's kind of how they march. You got screwed by the Democratic Party of Virginia, yet once again, why don't they like you?
I try to figure that out because all I do is work hard for Democrats. And I've done that really for the last 40 years. What it is, I don't know. I think it's that those naysayers, because I'm a straight shooter, I don't play games. I certainly know when to compromise with the Republicans, but I don't do underhanded backroom dealing kinds of things. And perhaps that's it, and I still win. And it's unfortunate that, I have not gained or maintained the, support of many in the Democratic committee. I think the party in general, but basically the committee right here locally has issues with my doing the right thing for the right people and doing it correctly without devaluating or without being immoral or unfair. And evidently they don't like that. Politics can be very dirty. And my 16 years in politics, I really have tried to run clean campaigns. I've always built my campaigns on my qualities,
Mm-hmm.
not on the other person's negatives, even though sometimes that happens with other candidates. But I try to be positive. I try
Well,
to
they
tell
don't
them
like
about
you.
Ella
They don't.
Ward.
They don't like you, Ella, because you're not going to do exactly what they say. You have an independent streak, and
That's right.
that doesn't fit I guess, the new Democratic Party of Virginia. By the way, he had Ben Tribbett on our show, and he blasted the Democratic Party of Virginia. Said the whole thing was rigged.
It is.
So it is rigged.
It is rigged. I
you
mean, look
get
at these lines that were drawn for the fourth. I mean, that's ridiculous.
They
you
were-
don't draw lines, congressional lines for a particular candidate.
They drew it for a candidate.
They do it for a
All
candidate.
right, we got to talk about that, but I want to go to the phone lines. What does Ella and Bernie Sanders have in common? Both of them have been screwed by the Democratic Party. Not that they have anything in common ideologically. Let's go to Leon in Chesapeake. Leon, welcome.
Yeah, I've been listening to Dr. Ward. She has a lot of information. I just wonder why she never would get in a debate with one of the candidates. Ford wouldn't debate her, and McKeeshan evidently wouldn't debate her. I know Bob Bristol. He's having a debate up there on the Republican side up in Henrico County. So I just wonder why. Are they afraid of her? They don't want their issues to be heard?
I
don't know
either.
what the reason. I was hoping that you would come up with one.
I would love to have a debate with my opponent, Don McKeechin. And I think John mentioned that when I was on the show. Allegedly going to be here tonight, but no word of a candidate. And since he is the presumptuous winner of this, 4th district race here on the Democratic side, then I would expect that they would have called and asked for a debate. We were ready. I got my communications director here, Brad Montague, who was also my former student, my English student and my journalism student, my newspaper editor, and he was hoping for a debate. We told John that last week, but nothing has happened.
No,
So
but
I don't know either.
our last chance is to try to put one together on Monday. But look, they have the lead, they think, so there's no reason to debate. I mean, that's just the bottom line. But we're going to keep working on it. Thank you, Leon. I think to answer Leon's question, Mella's prepared to debate Don anywhere, anytime, any
That's right.
place.
Absolutely.
As she would have debated Randy when she ran against him in 2012.
And got 43% of the vote, even without a debate, and without money, and without support from the Democratic Party, as you say.
Yeah, well,
and without
we're
any
gonna-
endorsements. Nobody endorsed me in 2012. I still got 43% of the vote in the completely gerrymandered Republican-leaning debate race.
But I thought that was a pretty good percentage.
Yeah, and Don
for no
McKeechin
money.
didn't choose to run in 2012. Well, he didn't run in 2014, and he's running now and doesn't even live in the district. But
He doesn't live in the district.
I have a problem with it. And it's not negative. That's just a fact.
It's just a fact.
You just said it.
The facts are facts.
Facts
He
are
doesn't live in
facts.
the district.
And you need to know about your district.
Randy doesn't live in the district that he's running in either.
No, he doesn't.
Jackie Gonzalez doesn't live in the district that she's running for either.
No, she
Mike
doesn't.
Wade doesn't live in the district that he's running for either.
No, he doesn't.
Nobody lives
That's
in
right.
district.
I'm the only one. Keep that
You
in
live
mind.
in the district.
All my life, since
All
I
right.
was 3.
This is from Den in Chesapeake. He's in your district. And Den says, Ella talks about the retraining scam. This just results in folks getting lower wage jobs.
It's not a scam. We have to retrain people. We have, even though the unemployment rate has gone down, so many people are making below minimum wage. Minimum wage itself is barely, you can't live on $7.25 an hour, and many people are making much, much less than that. We're going to have to retrain them. My point was everybody doesn't have to have a 4-year college degree in order to have a decent job and earn a decent wage, and we know that. So we got to get them with skills. When employers hire people, they want somebody who can go to work and not have to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars training them how to do a simple job. Now that's what I'm talking about, and that's not a scam. That's a fact of life. Some, especially our millennials right now, they don't stay on the same job forever, and they change jobs 5, maybe at least 3 or 4 times in their lifetime. So you do need to be trained. You do need to go to school. You do need to learn the skills, and that's what we're talking about: technology-based jobs, healthcare jobs. That's retraining. And there's no scam about that. We've got to do that so they'll be qualified as an employer. And of course, I had an opportunity to hire a lot of teachers and look at prospective teachers when I was in administration for the 12 years in Portsmouth school system. You do want people to come in ready to go to work. Otherwise, your company is going to lose a lot of valuable time, employee time, if they have to completely train you once you get the job. And that's not a scam. That's a fact.
Ella, let's get to the fact that Don McEachin has gotten the public endorsement of, it seems like, the entire Democratic political apparatus, including Senator Tim Kaine, Senator Mark Warner, Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam. Obviously, that makes sense because he's served with him in the state Senate, so I get that. I mean, I thought that was the legitimate one. Also, he got the endorsement of Governor Terry McAuliffe, who has now decided to, I guess, weigh in on everything, because he also weighed in on the Kenny Alexander race. So all of the Democrat bigwigs are lining up behind McEachin. Did anybody ever call you up and just talk to you or ask about how you stood on issues, or did they just send something out and said, hey, I'm for Don?
Well, I did get a call from the governor. I have to be honest, because Governor McAuliffe knows I worked very, very hard for him in both races. In fact, when he ran the first time for governor, I was the only Democratic chair who came out and endorsed him, and he used to give me a lot of credit for that. And as a result, he has been in my corner. When I ran in 2012, he was very supportive of me. And I think a big part of the problem is, John, is that those lines were drawn specifically
for McEachin.
For McEachin, that's a fact. And so they really figured nobody else was going to even have the audacity to try to run against him. When you look at the way that it was drawn, every precinct, just about every precinct that I won in 2012 against Randy Forbes, from Chesapeake, Suffolk, and the whole city of Franklin, where I have lots of relatives, I won single-handedly against Randy Forbes. They've taken it out. So it was strategically, skillfully done, just like a needle, just went in and carved out cities and precincts that I won in 2012. So when you do that, that took some master work to do that. And it's so unfair. Why would you do that to a candidate who has shown and proven that she can run a campaign, and be it local or federal, and do it without a whole lot of money, without taking big bucks from the big wheels, as you say it? I've never gotten that. But when you look at the way they drew this map, nobody can understand how and why it was done except for one candidate in mind, and it doesn't even make sense at all. And then to put Richmond in the fourth, and Richmond has never been in the fourth. Never. That was always in the third in Bobby Scott's district. So because of the way that the maps were drawn and redrawn, they just assumed that nobody else had a chance of winning. And I'm going to prove them wrong on June 14th, on Tuesday, because in spite of that, I think we're still going to win.
So it's rigged, basically.
Of course it was rigged. It's obvious that it was rigged. I have a problem with that. And that really should not be, because you talk about democratic process. Well, that's not democracy, because they're not doing something to help open the field so people will have a choice. And when I ran against Randy Forbes, you offered the people a choice. It shouldn't be.
Oh, you did offer a choice.
Yeah,
there was no question about that.
And I did well with it.
I voted for Randy.
That's okay.
But you did offer a choice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I understand that. And I don't have a real problem with that, John.
I thought you ran a very vigorous campaign.
I did. I kept it positive. I had no money. I had no support, no endorsements. And I have to give Senator Lucas, some praise here, because she has stood behind me in this election. She's with me on my commercials. They'll be aired starting tomorrow, Thursday, in Hampton Roads. They're already airing in Richmond, Petersburg, Charles City County, in that part of the district, where people don't know me. And I've already gotten text messages this morning that they've seen the commercials. They like them. Senator Lucas is in it. May I be awarded?
So are these on TV or radio
TV,
or both?
Yes. A lot of stations, about 10 different
stations. So you're on TV?
Oh, yes.
You're on the radio?
No, I've been on the radio. Of course, I was on with Maurice last Saturday. Of course, I didn't host my own radio show. Red and I were there Monday, once a month. So we got some robocalls that are going to be coming out. I'll be on TV here starting Thursday on Wavy News 10 and Fox 43 and some cable stations. Not a lot of commercials here, but I will have some running.
Right, so you're basically focusing on the area where you just don't have the name ID that John does.
Absolutely. I think most people in the Hampton Roads area, I think they know.
Well, you're very telegenic.
Thank you.
You should do very well.
Thank you.
All right, so this thing is rigged, right? It was set up for Don to win, but it sounds like you've raised enough money now to go on TV.
Oh, yes.
And
we're going to be on the air. In fact, we're already on the air. got a text message this morning from one of the radio hosts there in Richmond. She said, "Oh, I saw the commercial."
I'm going to get back this is a little inside baseball, and some of our fans love when I do this kind of stuff because they get insight they get nowhere else. But I'm just going to play this out. I'm going to check with your campaign manager if this is all right. If it's all right to play this out, he says fine. Okay, so Brad and Ella, so if McEachin wins and Mike Wade wins, and Mike Wade is the sheriff running against Jackie Gonzalez, and he's the favorite to win. Well, his campaign manager is Mike Wade. Same name.
Same
okay?
name.
Just a little confusing. But Sheriff Wade is a squeaky clean guy. He's been started in the FBI. He's done a great job as sheriff in Henrico, running the jail. And Mike Wade, the Republican consultant, is notorious for going negative. Notorious.
I hear it.
And so I'm telling you, if McEachin's a nominee, Mike Wade, the consultant's not going to hesitate. If you're the nominee, there's no negative there.
That's right.
I mean, there's anything to do.
Exactly. Thank you.
So I think if you're a Democrat out there and you're considering this race, I mean, you really got to take that into consideration. This is a district that Obama carried with 60%, but also the same district Bob McDonnell carried with 52%
Right.
in 2009, and Cuccinelli carried the district with just over 50%. Cuccinelli carried it.
I know. It's wild, isn't it?
So on the
Unbelievable.
surface, Democratic district, but 2009, it was carried by 2 of the 3 Republicans, and then Bill Bolling got 49-point-something%.
Right.
So, okay, we're going to try to put something together, but I've got a minute remaining for you, Ella. Tell people why they should vote for you, regardless of the party they're in, because this is an open primary. Anybody can, as long as you're a registered voter, you can vote. Why should the voters of the 4th District on Tuesday vote for Ella Ward?
Thank you, Don. Yeah, I really appreciate being here this morning, John. They should vote for me because I have a proven track record of working for people, middle class, under middle class, throughout the 4th District. I am really high on veterans benefits and the military. I support the defense budget, education reform, key to my campaign, affordable health care. We need to make sure it stays there because we still have 400,000 Virginians that don't have any health care at all. I want to make sure that I work to protect the environment because that's also high on my agenda. Women's rights. We've got to make sure women have their rights. And women right now make only 77 cents on every dollar that a man makes. These and other reasons are why you need to go to the polls on June 14th, this Tuesday, and cast your vote for the common sense, break the gridlock candidate Ella Ward for United States Congress, 4th District. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Ella, thanks for being with us today. We'll talk to you on Election Day that morning. This is the John Fredericks Radio Network.